Right guys, hope you're well. So it is a Tuesday night tonight, the wife's out shopping, the kids are in bed, and I have bought a watch on Saturday. Big purchase, and it's the exact same watch that I sold less than 3 months ago.
You're the only reason I am free.
Right, so I bought the Amiga Speedmaster Sapphire sandwich on Saturday. It is now Tuesday, coming up to 7:30, wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Tudor Blackberry Red. Now that does look the business. It's a nice one, but this is probably the lesser choice of the Blackberry range. I think the black's a smart choice on that. I've just sold the Air King. The smart choice on that would have been to get the Explorer, but unfortunately the AD promised it me months ago and just let me down completely on that, unfortunately, so I never got that. So that's why I got the Air King. But the Red's a bit of a not your first choice. Your Air King's not your average first choice. What else have I bought recently? The Railmaster, again, that's not really the first choice that people go to. So I tend to go towards the oddballs within my watch collection. And the Datejust, although it's a quintessential classic, not many people would favour it over maybe some of the sports models or other Amigas. So when I was looking at my collection as a whole, I was thinking I probably need a bit of a classic in there. I felt like, it was just, everything was too far out, and, I just wanted to get a proper classic back in the collection. And looking around, browsing online, there weren't that many choices that I thought were a really obvious choice. That's the dog making noise. Go away, you. So yeah, I went for the Sapphire sandwich because why in God's green earth, apart from the fact you'd save a load of money, would you go for the Hess-like version? Yes, it's officially more of a replica of what the guys went to the moon in, but unless you actually own the watch that went to the moon, you're just buying a watch that looks like a watch that went to the moon. Does that make sense? The only football shirts that really matter are the match-worn shirts, that David Beckham, Alan Shearer, Ali McCoy, showing my age now. But, unless it's match-worn, it's just a replica. It's just a shirt that you bought in a shop. And any Speedmaster is just a watch that you buy in a shop. Yeah, there's an association with NASA, but ultimately that's just marketing. And do you really want to buy a watch because it looks like something that went on the moon? It's a bit of a gimmick, isn't it, really? So why did I go for it if I'm saying these words? Well, I think ultimately it's a timeless design, and the only reason it's timeless design is because it looks exactly the same as it did, 50 years ago or whatever. So yeah, it's a timeless design. It hasn't really changed in all those years the way it looks. The technology's got better, and it's the same with the Submariner because you can identify it almost identical going all the way back. It gives it that longevity, that heritage. And I think that's what people nowadays buy into. And the NASA and the moon landing, I think that's almost a gimmicky secondary thing. It is for me anyway. You get some great stuff in the box, but it's just bum from padding at the end of the day. It doesn't really mean anything. I got the Sapphire sandwich because I could not have a Hess-like crystal because I would break it within seconds. The dog would jump up, the kid would jump up or whatever, and I'd just be like, "Argh." So no, I've definitely not gone down that route today. And I needed an Amiga back in the collection, really. I just thought, oh, I'm missing it. I went through that phase of needing a Rolex, wanting a Rolex. And I had two Rolex. I love my Datejust still, but the Air King, that dial, it's just, ooh. Like a really hot woman with a really rugby player's face. That's the Air King. So, what else did I get? Right, so this is a NATO. It's an Amiga official NATO. Where's the buckle? An Amiga official NATO. My wife bought me that for my birthday last year, and I opened this as a present in Geneva. So I don't have the watches that I went to Geneva in, but I bought them myself, so I've sold them. Don't really mean up to me. I don't feel like I'm missing out because I don't have the watch that I had on my 40th birthday. No, but this is a gift from the wife. This has got sentimental value. Could be one for a tenner, but the fact that it were a present off my wife, that's what makes it important. The fact that it's a watch that I went to the Rolex headquarters in, or spent my birthday in Geneva. So what? I don't go on about the coat that I wore that day or the boots that I wore that day. So I've still got them. They're not important because of the day. The fact that it was my birthday and I was there, nothing to do with what I'm wearing. So the importance in watches isn't really there. They're just gimmicks. They're just toys at the end of the day, aren't they? So that's really important to me, and now I can put that on Amiga because I've had this for 3 months and no Amiga to put it on. And This is a company called Tempo Mart. They're from Madrid, and this is Speedmaster shorts. Done it again. Carry on, Andrew, carry on. These are Speedmaster shorts, and as you can see, they've got little Speedmasters on, little spacemen on, and these guys were kind enough to send me these shorts in the summer. I wore them once, saw the Speedmaster, they must think I'm real shit, really. So now I've got the Speedmaster back, I'm going to start wearing the shorts all the time, I promise. Even if it's winter in England, I don't care, I'm going to wear them all the time. So let's flip the camera and let's get into the Amiga Speedmaster. So you get this ridiculous, massive box, and yes, it's impressive because of its size. Not the first time I've been told that, guys, don't worry about that. But it's too much, if you know what I mean. There's no need for it. So here you get, it's like a suede fake leather or whatever, and you get the pictograms, and it tells you. So if you remember my Seamaster video from whenever I last did it a couple of days ago, this had so many more pictograms to state that it's a better technology watch. That's only got a few, I think, I can't hardly read it myself, to be honest. 5 bar, 50 metre, 5-year warranty. So Sapphire crystal, it's just not got as many, so it's not as high tech, so that's one thing, fair enough, and you get the warranty card as well. So Ernest Jones, 17th of the 10th, I don't know if you can see that. Whoopie doo. You get the Amiga operating instructions, look at all the different countries there. Can you see that? Yeah, so all the different countries, so half that is not in English, so again, not really that interesting. This is proper tie, it's just a bit of cardboard, just to balance it out. All the technology, they can put a man on the frigging moon, but they can't sort the cardboard out and to get it all sorted, so that's proper rubbish. Right, hang on, let me just get rid of this because it's so big. Now these are decent. Now this explains how to take your bracelet off. I mean, come on guys, if you're a watch enthusiast, you know how to put a frigging NATO on. But yeah, this is quite nice. Now this, I'm thinking of putting on the coffee table actually. It's just about, you know, the moon landings. It's got some brilliant images, all the different, you know, Apollo missions there, which is pretty cool. I mean, some really cool pictures. Astronauts wearing the Speedmaster, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Where's my favourite picture? That one. Don't know why, I think it's just a bit of a classic, but this was the funniest one. So if you look there, the American flag going upright, it's got a massive stick across here because there's no atmosphere on the moon, is there? So they just drape down and people wouldn't be able to tell what flag it is. So yeah, obviously that was just filmed in a studio anyway. So let's get on to the gubbins of this one. It's a bit of an awkward box to get into. Get these clips and then away you go. So that's the watch itself. Stunning. It is a nice watch. But I'm just going to put this to one side a minute and go through the other stuff that you get, because actually there's some, as far as watch boxes go, some pretty interesting stuff. So that is just a metal coin, but it does look nice when you open the box. In here you get a little magnifying glass, Amiga branded, which I don't know. Nice, but you never use it. And these are the best bits in here. So get all this out. This is nice. You get an Amiga branded pin changer, so that's good for changing straps, and this is metal, so it feels like it's really going to stand the test of time. That one is like the official Velcro one that they actually wore on the moon. When you get it out of the bag, it is proper tight. I remember that from last time, so I'm not even going to try it on or even look at that, it's a waste of time. But this, like my other Amiga Nito with a white strap, is just a solid black one. And this, you know, you'd pay 130 quid for this in a shop, so that'll be coming out, that'll be getting used, and that is definitely the business. So that looks good. And then on to the main bit. Look at that. So, timeless design. Funny thing is, the guy in the shop said this was a 40mm. Officially, it's a 42mm, but it's not, is it? From that bezel end to that bezel end, it's 40mm, and then it's just this swollen outside bit of the case here that makes it a 42mm watch. But do not be surprised that when you wear it, it wears like a 40 because it's small. And after wearing something so big like that, I went to buy it in this as well. When I put this on, that slim profile just blew me away, because that goes tucks into your wrist and you can't see it, and it's just incredibly thin. So yeah, I think it's a really, really wearable watch. Not very much micro adjustment, you know, practically nothing, but again, because it wears flat, it's comfy, and you know, I really did jump the gun when I sold this watch. Deployment class, where you can't get it released with just pressing one. You have got to press two, so it's safe and it's easy. If you are hot and bothered or whatever, you can just take it off and put it back on again. I won't be able to do this properly because I don't think it'll focus. That is just to die for. Right, how can I do this now? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is nice. But again, pointless because you never actually look at it that often. Really crisp movement, buttons, but you can't set it. It's not hacking, so the seconds are always going, and that used to annoy me only 3 months ago, but I've evolved within what I want out of watches, so it's not actually that bad a thing now. I set it to within a minute and I'm happy. This tonight, I think it was about a minute fast, because I just kept winding it and winding it and winding it for the last few weeks, and it's just become about a minute faster the last few weeks, but I didn't even set it right. It's not interesting. So center polish links, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links, and the central 2 thin ones are polished. Everything else is brushed. It does have that tool watch feel with just a little bit of polishing here and there, which do make it a luxury watch. So this is a timeless design. I could see myself having this in literally weeks. It is a fantastic watch. There's so many people out there that have a Speedmaster, that appreciate a Speedmaster. And if you've never had one and you're thinking of having one, just try it. Do you know what I mean? It is an Omega Speedmaster. It's a watch that's well respected, liked, good looking, easy to wear, goes with all sorts of different outfits. You know, the 50-metre water resistance isn't great, but apparently there's not many swimming pools on the moon, so that's probably why. Right, that's just literally a quick look, guys, because I am really liking it. Right, guys, let's flip back. Right, guys, I'm in the dark. I don't know why I'm whispering, but Workington Watches lent me his Seamaster 4 review, which is, you'd think, very kind of him. You think, oh, he's a friend, that's very good of him. But is he a friend? I don't know. Scared me a bit, to be honest. So he told me he'd watched the review by text, and this is what he texted me. Watched it, enjoyed it. But where the fuck was the loom shot? Jesus. Alright, mate, I'm sorry. So, alright, I didn't realise you were getting the peanut butter out for the loom shots, mate. Calm down, jeez. So, I won't want to upset Workington Watches anymore, so I've kept the lights off while I do a bit of a loom shot. And I tell you, it's not got much loom in terms of markers, but oh, look at that. Look at that. So yeah, that's in a semi-lit room and it's lighting up decent. Let's put it into comparison. I'm going to do the Black Bay. Oh my god, the Black Bay's destroyed it already. Oh my word. So yeah, which is your choice? The Black Bay. But I tell you what, it looking really glowing, is that, to be fair. But that holds its own. It does shine bright, even though they're very thin strips, it's still the business, so fair play. So yeah, I just turn the lights on again, hold on. There we go, all back to normal. So I think I was a little bit critical of the box and all the gimmicky stuff, because actually there's quite a lot in here that I'm going to enjoy. Obviously the watch is the main thing. I'll be able to put the bulk of the box away and just keep it out of sight, because it's ridiculously bulky. But the things I'm going to keep out is this, you know, about the moon landing and stuff. So I think that would be quite a nice little coffee table booklet, and I will sit down and read that at some point. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to keep out. Definitely keeping the proper NATO strap out. That's just absolutely stunning. I'll be keeping that out and looking forward to wearing that. This metal Omega strap changing tool, again, That's the nicest strap to hinge into, and the fact that it's metal, it's always cold when you feel it. It's a really nice thing, so I'll definitely keep that. And what I forgot to mention is they give you extra Amiga pins as well in case you lose any. So again, everything you need in the box, to be fair. So the Amiga Speedmaster, absolutely quintessential Amiga. It is a really nice watch. It's a really nice fit. Let me show you what I mean about it being thin on the wrist. Can you see that? So yeah, it wears thin. It's comfy. It's good looking. I'm really glad I bought it. Tell you what it does though. So when I was actually in the shop, I was looking at a Tudor Black Bay Chrono Steel and Gold, which is pretty jazzy to be fair. And when I first picked this up and looked at it, even when I was in the shop, before I bought it, even buying it, I looked at the dial and it just looked a bit washed out. It's not fully black, it's almost like a dark, washed out grey. And I just looked and I'm like, it's just like every other Speedmaster. It just looked a bit washed out. It is a bit boring looking. I suppose it's what mood you're in, or, you know, if your glass is half full or half empty. It is a classic design. It's dead easy to wear. It is more comfortable than I previously gave it credit for. But one thing does annoy me about it. So that bit there, the bracelet hangs over the actual end of the watch. So when you hold it like that, that's how thick it is. So when it's on your wrist and you do that, every single time it annoys me. It really pisses me off, in fact. So what I try to do is just not touch my watch. So I think, I know it's a big statement from me, this could be a semi-keeper. I'm going to put a little bet on. I bet I've got this watch this time next year. I've never kept a watch a year either. So that's a pretty big deal for me. Right, let's get on with this. My final bit of watch wisdom, and then I can call it a day and watch a bit of TV. Watch wisdom. I think it's all acceptable within the watch industry that if you've got a Rolex and you're taking piss out of someone with a Timex because it's not a Rolex, you're a watch snob, and that's pretty much frowned upon and not accepted, and you're a bit of a douchebag if you do that. That's fair enough. I appreciate that. But everybody, including me, always says I only got into watches when you buy your first auto fucking camera, I swear to God. So everyone always says, what the frick were I saying now? So everyone always says you got into watches when you buy your first automatic watch or you buy your first Swiss piece. That in itself is snobbery in itself. What's to say that because you only ever like quartz watches or fashion watches that you're not into watches? That's bullshit. I used to love my diesel watches and I had TW steel watch and I thought they were the dog's bollocks. So to say that I only got into watches when I bought my first Oris Aquis about 5 years ago, bollocks. I really enjoyed watches all of my life. It just so happens they were, I nearly just did it myself, crappy watches. I'm a snob, I'm a watch snob. That's wrong. If you're into watches, you're into watches. So it don't matter what kind of watch it is or how expensive it is. It's just my tastes have evolved as I've gone on. But yeah, I remember harking back, looking at my TW Steels and my diesel watches, and I loved them. I really did love them. I had a Storm watch as well. I mean, they're not to my taste now, but yeah, don't be a snob to anyone that's got a quartz watch or a fashion watch. Who cares if it's a Hugo Boss watch? They're good looking watches. So yeah, don't be a watch snob, full stop, just like me. Right guys, over and out. I'll see you in the next one.